Hi there, welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham. Another good day, another good Monday, another win, 1-0. No goals conceded, 6 points out of 6. Can't be bad. The performance wasn't that good, but if it's not making a habit of that, then I'm not too fussed about that. Got a great panel again this week. Adam's back. Hi, Adam. How you doing?
Good.
Bob from Bob Spur TV. If you don't follow Bob Spur, what are you doing? Follow him. How are you doing, Bob?
All good, mate. All good. Good. Another good 3 points, and and Arsenal getting beat again. Brilliant, fantastic.
For anyone who doesn't follow Bob Spur TV or know about it, where can they find you?
Yeah, Bob Spur TV, YouTube at Bobsy73 for Twitter, mate.
Cool. Get liking on that and get subscribing. Also, Brad Matthews, no relation to Adam. I've been informed. Hi, Brad. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. It's a Monday, which is normally a bit of a downer, but we had a good win on the weekend, so that improves things definitely.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, absolutely. You were mentioning as well off air. You've got a music channel potentially coming on YouTube.
I will in probably September. It's just going to be a channel with my own compositions on that I started to write when I sort of had my birthday a couple of years ago and had that magical age of 60. And I've been sort of learning guitar for the last year and a half. I mean, I played it when I was 15, but you sort of tend to forget stuff. And it's my own compositions. I'm not trying to get to Glastonbury or be picked up by a record label. my own amusement, and just so I've got some sort of digital record and my thoughts on the world that are out there somewhere. So yeah, that's.
I've seen some of Brad's stuff, and it is great. I saw his tribute to David Irish Hotspur. And yeah, it was. He's not doing himself any justice. He's very good.
Think about that, Bob. It was actually my own tune, so we avoided copyright issues. So.
Brilliant! Thought ahead. No,
excellent.
Look forward to that one.
You got Brad's Twitter handle there at Brad Hotspur. Follow that, and I'm sure you'll get all the details when the YouTube channel launches. Back to the game. Obviously, that's what we're here for. We're winning ugly. I say we're winning ugly. That's one game. But we won ugly yesterday. As long as we don't make a habit of that, I'm not too bothered, even though the performance wasn't that great. But Adam, what were your overall thoughts of the game?
Yeah, I mean, we got the all-important 3 points. First away game of the season, which was good. But it was sloppy. There was a lot of sloppiness in possession. Wolves, I think they had 20 shots on goal. They should have scored. Obviously, Traore was put through 1-on-1 from a dire mistake. But yeah, I mean, those are the games that you've got to win, and we did. We got the 3 points. We come away 2 out of 2, so can't really complain too much. Let's hope we can play a bit better against Watford.
Yeah, Bob, what were your thoughts of the game? 25 shots on goal or something like that for Wolves, but only really that one clear chance for Traore. Yeah. What did you think of the game and the way we played?
I think considering it's there's not going to be that many away wins this season. Well, certainly to begin with, with all the home teams playing in front of their own fans after 18 months, nearly 2 years out the game. So away wins are going to be hard to come by. I think fixtures results prove that. I'm going to take this the other way around. For the second consecutive league game, I never thought we were going to concede. The only chance they had was from a dire mistake. They had 25 shots, but they had the same shots on target as us. All the other shots, for me, I cannot remember Lloris having to make a save. They didn't hit the bar, they didn't hit the post, there weren't close shaves. There wasn't a single chance for Wolves where I'd sit back and I think, they should have done better there. No, because there weren't great chances. The highlights reel, the highlights will be all about Spurs' chances. We should have scored 3. If we're going to sit here and say Wolves should have got a few goals, should have scored a goal, then you have to counterbalance the argument and say Spurs should have got 3 or 4. The Sonny 1-on-1, the Kane, the double save from Bergwijn and Sonny, the Dyer header, the Bergwijn chance. Yeah, we should have got 3 or 4 if you're going to use the arguments both ways, because like I say, apart from that one chance, they didn't do anything. And like I say, they only got that chance through Dyer's mistake. A lot of people are saying it's a Jose-esque performance. I don't think it was. I thought we had a lot more stamina towards the end. We always looked dangerous going forward. One thing we lacked under Jose was fitness, and Nuno sorted that out. No point putting your identity across and a way of playing if the guys can't run. So first and foremost, task was to get them fit. So, like I say, considering the manager's only been there under 60 days, we're away from home. We've got a best player out on the bench. As probably our two best players out. I thought going away from home against a good Wolves, a well-established Premier League team, and come away with a 1-0 win without looking like we were going to concede. I thought it was very good considering all the factors.
Yeah, and I agree with you, the fans. I think certainly the first couple of months of the season before the novelty wears off, home fans will make a huge, huge difference. So, I mean, Brad, that makes the result even better, doesn't it? The first game Wolves have played at home with fans for, 18 months or something like that. They got Jimenez back, which is a big boost for them as well, and the fans. I slightly disagree with you, Bob, in the fact that you never thought we concede. I've been a Spurs fan for too long. I can never think like that. What did you think, Brad? Did you think it was comfortable in the end, or do you think we rode our luck, or what were your thoughts on it?
I don't think we rode our luck. I probably agree with actually most of what Bob said. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, and I'm sure, Drew, when I'm watching the game, I'm thinking, how are we going to survive? How are we going to survive? When you actually look back at it, they didn't really have any chances, and we tend to keep them away from the danger area. And I like the way that we kept at it, even though we were under the cosh, especially the first 10, 15 minutes. We just kept going. Fitness came into it. And we were always a threat. We always had that sort of outlet that we could get up the other end and score. And you're right. We, Son had a one-on-one, Kane had a one-on-one. Yeah, the double save, the little flick from Bergwijn that Son hit. We had chances there. So we need to improve. Don't get me wrong. We need to improve, and we need to get to a situation where we can control the midfield a little bit more. I think we gave away too much possession and didn't win the second ball as much as I'd like. But we kept fighting. And it was a good team performance, because I can't really say who I thought our best player was. It was a really good team performance. Yeah. So, as I say, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I'm no tactical genius, but I did feel more comfortable defending. I did feel that. Whereas last season it was, they're going to score. You're just waiting for it. Yeah. But this time around, I did feel more comfortable. We didn't defend as deep as we used to under Mourinho. And I think I've said to other people, we seem to enjoy our football now. I think we were scared when we were under Mourinho. I really do. And now we seem to have that confidence. And I'm well pleased. But we do need to improve. Let's 100%. Let's straight out there. Definitely need to improve.
Yeah. One man who was superb, and that's the record breaker, Hugo, 300 Premier League appearances. I've been very critical of him in the past, certainly when he was making mistakes, but yesterday he really earned his money. Brilliant save. A brilliant save against Traoré, considering the Traoré should be scoring that, but it's the one player for Wolves you want that to go to, but he still had to save it. What do you make of him, Adam? Hugo, overall at Tottenham? He's obviously made mistakes, but maybe that was lack of competition. But yesterday he was superb and didn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah, I think he's a great shot stopper. He did well for the Traoré one-on-one. He reacted to it very quickly. He's had a tough few years, I think. I don't know what it was, maybe confidence or whatever. I'm not sure. Not having maybe the players in front of him to give him that protection. But great goalkeeper, and he's got to be number one this season. He's been a great servant for Spurs, and I hope he stays for the rest of his career, really.
I mean, Bob, we've got a little bit of an issue where he's 34. We've got no one that's a ready-made replacement. I mean, goalkeepers fairly pricey now compared to what they used to be. I don't think
Yeah.
you're going to get a top quality goalkeeper for under 40 million. So how do we go about replacing Hugo, and how many years do you think he's got left?
I mean, him personally, I think he's got another 3 or 4 years, seasons in him, but certainly 3. They go until late 30s anyway. But obviously, he's in his last year of his contract. We've brought Galini in. If he starts playing a few more cup games and we do get to a cup final, he's a type of goalkeeper that Galini is a type of goalkeeper that you probably keep in a final. Whereas before, the likes of Vorm has got us to a final and Hugo's coming at the end. I think Galini's there. Obviously, he's still on loan with an obligation or view to buy. But Lloris, he's never. I think he lost a bit after that bad injury against Brighton when he went back, and I don't think he's ever been the same goalkeeper. But he's our best goalkeeper, and he will go down as one of the best in the Premier League. Certainly, the longest serving. He's been here for 10 years, and I mean. The only issue I have with Lloris is when he parries the ball out, he always tends to parry it out to an opposition player or within the danger area. One thing I've noticed with Galini, although he's only played 1.5 games, he does push it behind. So there's an improvement there already. But yeah, Lloris, I fought his corner when everyone was shouting to get Højbjerg as the next captain for this season. No, I thought that would have lacked total class by Spurs to take away the captaincy from him just to give it to Højbjerg because he shouts a bit more. No, that's wrong. That's very unfair. He is a captain. He is captain material, but he is captain of material. He is a captain on the pitch. He doesn't need a armband to be a captain. And he's probably the sort of player who'd probably turn around and say, "Take Captain Darben off Lloris, who's been here 9 seasons." Piss off, mate. No, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. So. No, Lloris is our club captain. He leads by example. We saw in the documentary how vocal he is within the dressing room. He's a legend. He'll go down as a legend. There's not many. I think I put a tweet out with regards to Gary Mabbott today. It's a happy birthday, 60 today. Legend is a very commonly used word, but very few players earn it. Lloris is a legend. He'll go down as a legend.
I mean, our defence, Brad, has looked. I know it's only 2 games. It's looked a lot better than last year, where we've been under pressure for large periods of the game. Whereas last year, like you said, it was a matter of time until that goal went in and the heads completely dropped. But do you think the defence is turned a corner a little bit, and that's to do maybe with the way that Nuno simplified things, maybe? And he's played the same defensive 5, if you want to include Lloris, 2 games in a row, which I can't remember Mourinho playing the same back 4 2 games in a row. Obviously, Romero's there. He's slightly injured at the moment, so that might change. But it looks like they've got a core back 4. And that could be also helping Lloris. He's got the same back 4 that he's in communication with. Or do you think it's a bit too early to start praising the defence, which was pretty lacklustre last year?
We can praise them for the first 2 games, definitely. They played very well. Sanchez seems to have come back a lot more confident now from the Copa America. Although I think Sanchez's problem's always been his judgment rather than, and that led to the mistakes he used to make. I think he used to lack confidence and then he'd make mistakes. Dyer, Dyer will give his all. We can't sort of fault him for that. But he still had that little error yesterday where he tried to. But then again, sometimes if you have a player that you criticise, you tend to look for the errors, whereas a player that you don't criticise, you don't. So, we all love Son, but he might have made errors that everyone will forget about because it's Sonny. With Dyer, because he gets a lot of flack, and it's deservedly so sometimes, you tend to look for those mistakes. Hugo, I'm spoiled. I was brought up on Pat Jennings, who I don't think in the world there will ever be a goalkeeper as good or reliable as Pat Jennings. But Hugo, as Adam says, a great shot stopper. Yeah, he's had errors. Yes, he's made errors, the occasional errors. But if you think back to the Wembley season, or just before we went to the new ground, he saved Aubameyang's penalty, and that effectively got us into the Champions League. Then he saved Aguero's penalty, which effectively got us into the semi-final of the Champions League. So, he's made these really important saves when they were needed. And, the occasional errors. I've been at Tottenham where he tried to do the old Cruyff turn and I think it was Southampton score, but we ended up winning the game anyway, so it's all forgotten. But I think, as far as the captaincy is concerned, yeah, we've seen him on the documentary where he's very, very vocal, and also the journalists that have been to the grounds where there's no fans said you can really hear him. But also, I think in his interviews, if you watch his interviews, and they're very quite spare, you don't see him many, many times. I was watching the one yesterday after the Wolves game, and I actually sort of thought, yeah, this is why Lloris is captain, because he's very honest and he's very all about improvement and that. And so I think I can see why he's captain. Me personally, I think captaincy is a bit of an irrelevance anyway in modern day football. You know, it's the old cliche to have 11 captains out there. It's not like cricket where you have to make field in. You know, you move your team around. But I think in football, I think it's a bit of an overrated sort of discussion, really, because you know Højbjerg will be shouting just as much as he would if he was captain as not being captain. So I think you have that. Sometimes maybe in the old days you'd have your manager on the field. Like my dad used to tell me that's what Danny Blanchflower was with the double team. He was Bill Nicholson's sort of manager on the field. But I think in modern day football, I don't think it happens anymore. But the defence, again, as I said about the actual performance, obviously you need improvement, and you probably do need a bit of backup there as well. So it's good so far. You know, work in progress.
Nice word.
We'll have to see what happens as the season progresses. And you're right about playing Dyer and Sanchez together. I think that really we never had a settled defence under Mourinho. That can't lead to it being any good or confidence in the players. But so far so good.
Do you speaking of that interview yesterday, Chris? I don't know what you guys think, but was it weird or was it good or was it the way it is that Hugo spoke about Nuno, how he's implementing his own style, and they're always in discussion with Nuno. But then he said Steve and Fabio. He mentioned Steve Hitchen and Paratici. I've never heard a director of football or an ex-director of football mentioned within within an interview. I don't know if I liked it. I don't know, or maybe it's just a whole new thing. But were you guys surprised? How did you take that?
Well, sorry, Brad. Go on.
I was going to say, it was quite strange. But then, if you look at the bench, you've got Paratici and Hitchen on the bench, sort of shouting and giving orders. And I can't remember Hitchen being on the bench when he was doing the job himself. So it is unusual. But I think Pochettino always used to say in his book, he said about Lloris is his second in command, and and he respected him for that, and that's what they did work well together. So I think talking with Nuno, that makes sense. But it was a bit of a weird one. But then again, if Paratici is in charge of finding players that he thinks are going to fit in our team, well then he's probably going to have some sort of input into how we play. I guess. Maybe not the last word, and I'm not saying I agree with that, but he's going to have some sort of input, I would say. I mean, his very personality suggests that. So, I don't
know.
Maybe it was lost in translation a little bit.
There was that clip as well, wasn't it, with Paratici and Steve against Man City getting up, and I don't know, man. Director of football, that's Nuno's job. People are going, it's great to see. We glad to see that. No, I don't want to see it again. That's not his job. Stick to get on the phone and find us a centre back. Go and see how Tommy Arsenal's getting on. I don't want you on the bench, mate.
You're the don't call him Don yet.
No, definitely not. Mate. Definitely not. You're no Don in my eyes, not yet.
Maybe Lloris's comment.
As far as I know, Levy's still signing the checks. And,
this is a problem. I'm sure we'll discuss this as well. But I get the impression that no matter what Paratici does, it's still Levy has the final say with the money side of it, which is a bit worrying, I have to say.
Yeah, I thought Lloris's comments were maybe lost in translation a little bit, trying to come across as it's one big family again now, rather than it was so toxic certainly at the end. It was so toxic under Mourinho and everyone almost against each other. So, Lloris, I think it's just what did you think, Adam?
What about Lloris's comments? I think the same. Maybe lost in translation a bit. I agree with Bob. Nuno's a manager. He should be on the sidelines. He should be the one that's dealing with the team while they're playing or whatever. yeah, it needs to be. You need to keep a hierarchy here. you can't have people doing all kinds of things. And Nuno's a manager. He needs to be trusted as a manager, and that's that really.
Maybe Paratici on the sideline shouting is maybe just like any fan that you shout. I mean, we all shout our advice, so maybe that's all he's doing. He's just being like a fan. Maybe I don't know, but I do agree with Adam and Pop though. It is quite strange, and Nuno is the manager, but I'm sure he'll have some sort of say if it gets that way. So.
It's working at the moment. We're two wins in, but Trial Bob was obviously the danger man, and you could see that the how terrified they were. There was one moment where I think Jimenez was going for the ball, Sanchez was after him, saw Trial was coming, and then just kind of stopped waiting for Trial to get it, and then he got skinned. But I thought Sanchez played awful first 15 minutes, and then he kind of got to grips with the game. Whereas last year, he played awful in the first 15 minutes. The next 15 minutes were even worse and carried on. So my question is this with Traore, we didn't let him get past because he's so quick. But did we actually do well against him, letting him try and make a decision rather than getting free kicks and giving them the chance to put balls into the box? Because Traore is going to cause problems for all sorts of defences going forward just because of that pace. But unless he gets his final ball and decision-making sorted out, that's all he's going to do. So did we actually do quite well against him in the end?
Yeah. I mean, if he's got that much pace, the least you expect is to beat the first man. But it came to a point where we were backing off. We'll say, well, you ain't got a cross on you, mate. Go ahead. You've put in 584 crosses already, and none of them have got anywhere near a Wolves player. Just carry on. Never look every time. I was glad he was crossing the ball. I was more worried about other players, Neves crossing a ball than a Traore, because it was never ever getting to a Wolves player. By hook, I mean, he's not much of a danger man. He's got pace. He'll get Usain Bolt if you want pace without any end product. No, I'm not. As you can probably tell, I'm not a greatest fan. And all you have to do with Traore is keep near him if you can, or double up on him if you need to, but let him put a cross in.
Yeah,
let him put the crosses in. That's fine. The defence was were played well enough to deal with all the crosses Traore put in, and I don't think a single one. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I cannot remember a single one going to a Wolves player. I'm trying to think back. I've seen the game twice now. Probably one, I think, that was along the ground. But even then, I'm guessing. Yeah. Well, that just says, he probably had about 15 crosses, 20 crosses in. And I'm struggling to remember one that went to a Wolves head.
Yeah, because I think Neves did more with one pass than probably Traore did the whole game. And
exactly.
And the only problem with Neves is one pass. Lucky for us, it went to Traore. So,
I mean, he's been linked with us.
Don't start, Chris. Don't start.
Well, before I get onto this, I'd like to know. I've got a question here. What I want to know is, have I been too light with the emojis here? Ronaldo coming to Spurs, 3 laugh emojis. Does it deserve more, or is 3 sufficient? Because that's just nonsense, right?
Well, there's 4 of us, but it's 4 of us, so it probably needs one more.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, I mean, Traore coming to us is something that's possibly likely because of the Nuno connection and he being price range. Ronaldo, absolute nonsense. But in terms of Traore, Adam, or if he could score and cross the ball, he'd be a big asset to Tottenham. Other than that, clout him with a challenge, and he's done. That's what Wayne Bonner says. Hi, Wayne. He always adds comments in here. But yeah, would you go with that, Adam? Or
I wouldn't get Traore. I don't think he'll bring anything to us, to be honest. But going back to yesterday's game, I must say I don't think we dealt with him very well. I think he did get into very dangerous positions very easily. And he was in a position where he could put a good cross into the box, which we can't let happen. And I think there was a couple of occasions when he actually did. It was just poor finishing, which let us off. I think Jimenez was just over the bar. I mean, it was a poor finish, but it was a good cross into him. I do think that we could have done better dealing with Traore. yesterday. I know he's got a lot of pace, he's got a lot of power, strength, but I mean, letting someone get to the byline like that and put a cross in unchallenged is criminal. I think any point in the game, any times, and I think he did that a few times yesterday, but we were let off by poor finishing. But Traore, no, he's not going to bring anything to Tottenham. I wouldn't buy him. He proved yesterday that he needs, 2 or 3 chances to actually get a goal. That one-on-one, he should have put away, really. Given the height that he gets and the reputation he's got, I don't think he brings anything to Spurs. I think we need to be looking at better players, really.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, Alina said here, he gets you off your seat and a bit of excitement. If nothing else, that does appeal. But at that level, you need more than that, I think.
Not for 40 million quid.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want someone to come in and get you off your seat for 40 million quid. I'm sorry. How many minutes? 26. He's shit in my eyes. He's overrated. He's overrated. I mean, 12 assists in 4 seasons.
Yeah,
says to me, and 9 of them came in 1 season.
Yeah,
9 of them came, and I know what you're saying, Adam. It was poor finishing. It can't be 4 seasons worth of poor finishing from a Wolves side. The only reason he got them 9 assists was because of Jimenez was unplayable that season. And I know a lot of people were saying, if he comes in, he's got Kane there. So are we bringing a player specifically to play with Kane? What happens when Kane's injured, or is we don't play Traore? So we're essentially losing 2 players because we shouldn't be bringing in a player who has to rely on somebody else to make himself a good player. That's why I'm totally against the whole narrative of Ali's a worse player now because he hasn't got Eriksen about him. No, with all due respect, Ali, piss off with that. You make yourself a player, not rather than someone else. So no, Traore is when he went through, I thought, thank God he's not going to score. And he didn't. Anybody else would have done it. It was an easy save for Lloris. He didn't stretch. He didn't have to be clever. He just sat down and goes, "Come on then, mate." And he went, "There you go." There's nothing there, and I think the biggest thing for me, would you say everyone says, "Oh, he's not played in a better team"? Would you class Spain as a world class team? Certainly a good team, a great team. They were 1-0 down, or certainly a goal down against Italy, and it was a second half of extra time. Old, tired legs of Italy, and they didn't bring him on, and they needed a goal. That for me just says is all pace and no substance. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. I would not waste. First of all, we don't need him. We don't need that position working on. Thirdly, 40 million. I would rather spend that 40 million on a centre back and a right back, or just one or the other. No, waste the money, waste the time. But at the same time, trust Nuno. I trust Nuno. If he wants him, he can have him. And we're fickle, aren't we, Brad? If he comes in and starts scoring, mate, I'm fickle. If he comes and starts scoring and he starts doing great, I'll be the first one on the rooftop shouting, Traore, biggest brother. Of course we will. We're all fickle. Right now, for me, it's a no-go, mate. It's a no-go.
I do agree with Alina's comment if he's 20, 21, because then you've got room to progress. He's 26 now and been doing this for 6 years. But if he got a coach that could teach him how to finish and pick the right pass, then it'd be amazing. But I mean, you mentioned there, Bobby was superb when Jimenez was superb. But what did you think of Jimenez, Brad? Because I worry about him. I don't think he's got too many years left. And Wolves fans have said that he's still going for challenges like he did. But there was an effort in the second half where he should have stepped forward and he's got an easy header and he's stepped back to hit it on the volley. And I don't know who's blocked it, but it's been crowded out. But that says to me that he's got it in his head and he's thinking about it. I don't want to go for a header if I don't have to. So how did you think he did yesterday? I mean, he was getting challenged and everything like that, but he wasn't winning anywhere near enough in the air as he normally does. It was
one of those sort of things where you think if it had been Jimenez before the injury, then you can have some problems. But I don't think you'd be human if you didn't have some sort of apprehension about playing football. If you had a head injury like that, we all saw Ryan Mason. Ryan Mason had to retire. You know, it's a really, really nasty thing, and you've got to be so careful. I mean, okay, in modern day football, the ball is a lot better than it was. You know, when players used to get it, the old Jeff Astles and that. You know, that was, I mean, those balls in those days was like, yeah, they could split your head open. But, you know, modern day football, modern day balls are fine. But, yeah, certainly going in for challenges and, you know, and you see people go and, you know, not heads together. And it'd only take one thing. So that's got to be in the back of his mind when he plays, you know, no matter what he might say or what his coach might say. Going back to Traore, I found it interesting that I'm not sure it's the commentators or it might have been some people on YouTube were saying, "Oh, Nuno could get the best out of him at Tottenham." Well, hang on a minute, Nuno was his coach at Wolves, so you know that doesn't sort of fit. You know, why would he get the best at Tottenham if he didn't get the best out of him at Wolves? So yeah. But from what I keep reading, they really want him. So the problem being, or from Tottenham's point of view, is that I think we've offered a loan deal with a thing to buy, but Wolves won't accept that. So. That's probably out of the water. That's probably blown that one out of the water anyway. So we're probably worried about nothing. But 40 million's a lot of money for Traore, definitely. The idea that I've read is that they could, if you play him, that allows Son to get up front with Kane and have that sort of dual partnership up front. But I don't know, it's not worth 40 million, does it? No. Change it slightly like that.
No. Do you think Jimenez is one bullet header away from really going to that same level? Because I think that's it. I think he just needs one solid headed goal, and I think it will come back. Because you could see elements of his skill's still there. He's still good on the floor. He turned one of our defenders pretty well. He can link up play really well, and I do rate him. You know, I always thought if Kane was to go, he was going to be our best option. But I just think he needs one good solid bullet header of a goal, and he'll be fine. But
he could also be one solid bullet header from retiring. That's the problem, you know. That's what I fear about, you know, from a totally neutral point of view. I fear that he wore a headband, didn't he? So there's obviously something there.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's not like you break your leg and you can break your leg again. You know, this is a potentially life changing thing. So
I mean, Ian Wright said on Match of the Day too. He was too often outside of the width of the 18-yard box. If you want to score goals as a striker, you've got to be in that 18-yard box. And he was not doing that before that head injury. So that says to me, subconsciously, I don't really want to be in there because the cross is going to come in and that could... I mean, it's going to be a challenge if it's a header generally. And that's how it happened in the first place. But yeah, I mean, back to Traore, Wayne said, do we actually need Traore? No. Possibly not, because we've got a player who was superb yesterday and has been. That's Steven Bergwijn. And Adam, how important could he be for us? I mean, that skill for the chance that I think it was Kane's chance.
It was, yeah.
Disgusting, really. Disgusting, really. But I mean, and the shot he had that Bob mentioned earlier, the shot that he had that went to Sonny and then he backheeled it for Son, got snuffed out. But after that Liverpool game, he would not have even shot there. He'd have been looking for Son as soon as he could have done. The confidence is back for Bergwijn. So and he's a workhorse as well. He reminds me so much of Aaron Lennon. He was the best winger we've had in a long time in tracking back and helping the fullback. And Bergwijn reminds me of that. But I think he's a crucial part of that team. But how important do you think, Adam, he can be this season? Injury-free, obviously.
Extremely important. Extremely important. I hope this season is a good season for him. Because I think he can really push on if he has a good season this season. I remember Son, when he came to Spurs, he had a couple of seasons where he was just finding his feet and then he let the handbrake off and look where he is now. So, yeah, and Bergwijn is a team player. He'll track back, he'll dig in for the team, he'll do his defending and he'll cover the fullback and whatever. So, and going forward, obviously he's got pace, he's got strength, he's got skill. He may need a little bit more clinical in front of goal, but that will come. That will come with confidence, and that will come as he develops. I mean, he's only young, so yeah, I think this could be a really big season for him, and I hope it's a good season for him, and he can build from that and be a really good player for us in the future.
Yeah. I mean, Wayne has said, Bob, he could be huge for us. Jose broke his confidence. Nuno has his work cut out to build it up again, which will take time. But I think Jose, I agree with Wayne Jose, but I think that Liverpool game, not missing a chance, but the abuse that followed. He's a young man, moved to a different country. He's got a young kid, I think. He had death threats. I think that absolutely killed him. And then where Wayne says with Jose, he just dropped him.
Yeah.
Whereas if he gets a manager like a Nuno looks like he will be, that you're still in the team, could do wonders for him.
I've fallen out with fellow YouTubers. Dave Irish, he'll tell you, me and him have gone full pelt with regards to Bergwijn. He doesn't like him, and I've rated. To be fair, he's turning his views slowly. I've always liked him. I think he's going to be a huge player. I believe in him. I think there's potential there. You know, people are saying Traore is better than Bergwijn. The stats are for Bergwijn in 37 games, he's got 5 assists and 4 goals, and Traore's 12 assists and 7 goals in over 100 games. And let's not forget, 9 of them came in one season. There's a reason why Sonny and Lucas went off before him, because he runs till the end. He's a fitness freak, he'll be an integral part of a front three, or the front three, depending on which way we go. No qualms about Bergwijn. I've got full faith in him, and he'll certainly be very successful at Spurs. He's young, and Nuno. If Nuno can bring out the best, so-called best, out of Traore, you know, everyone's going about Nuno's going to bring out the best of Traore. He can certainly bring out the best in Bergwijn.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Brad? How far do you think he can go for Spurs? And he's such a likeable bloke as well, and the whole death threat and racism, I think, has made him even more likeable. But yeah, it's disgusting, really.
Yeah, that was just
for hitting the post, you know. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously improvement, and his confidence keeps coming back. It was just unfortunate for him. I think that goal against Villa came two games before the end of the season, so he couldn't really get on a run. But I mean, I
think football's a game of fine margins, and not I really want to, but let's take our mind back to the Champions League final. I think it was I can't remember who it was now. Well, it might be Moira. It was 1-0. Moira had a shot. It just went past the post, and then 3 minutes later, Origi had that shot that just went inside the post, and they won 2-0. And that, I mean, we're talking about 6-7 inches difference there, you know. But one went up, one went wide. One went in. Both the skill level to hit those shots were both the same, just that one was slightly off. And, you know, you can't, I'm going to hit that shot, you know, within 2 inches, you know, you get it on target. And I think with Bergwijn, he hit the post of that Liverpool game, it could have gone in. You know, he put it wide, it could have gone in. And it's a different story. So I think that it could be a situation where he will get one of these chances and it will go in. And then you'll find that every chance he has in the next 3 or 4 games will have the same sort of effect. And he could score 4 or 5 goals in a row. And then suddenly it's all forgotten. I think that, there's definitely a player there. He puts in, which is what Nuno seems to want. He wants this fitness level, which we didn't have last season. And he's one that you can rely on. I was surprised that Son came off yesterday, but I think that might be due to his possible injury. Yeah. And also, as playing for Son, it's almost like a like-to-like, because Son was playing sort of up front. But Bergwijn, I think I'm glad we're keeping him. I really do want him. It's one of those sort of players you really want him to score. You know, So disappointed in, I think, one of the pre-season friendlies where he was through and goal and he passed it to, I think, Son to score.
Sonny,
Whoever go yourself, you know. But And also the thing is, who are you going to replace him with? Who's better that we can afford and buy that's available? Who's better than Bergwijn in that sort of?
Apparently Traore.
Yeah, and your stats, as sort of answered that one. So and if I remember rightly, that brilliant goal that Dele, so I say, scored against Sheffield United, I think it was a through ball from Bergwijn that set him up for that little chip ball over the top. So I think I've got a lot of faith in Bergwijn, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, from one player who's getting better all the time, Adam. I mean, it's going to take a bit more than 2 good performances for him to get back to his best. Is Dele? Is he getting back to his best? He's obviously got a different role now, where it's a lot more disciplined. He's playing a bit more deeper and snuffing danger out. But but he did make the run, which he's famous for, which got the penalty, clear penalty in my mind. People saying he looked for it and everything, but if the keeper comes darting out like that, I mean, he's got every right to go down. He did get clattered, but is he getting back to his best? And will you say he's back to his best now? Or does it need a lot more performances for that to be your opinion and the opinion of most Spurs fans?
He's certainly more dedicated. He seems more dedicated to this season and performing well this season. I mean, again, just as in the Man City game, he ran the most. He covered the most ground today in the Wolves game. So he's definitely working hard, and I think he's got the talent. He's the talent's there for him to really become one of the best players in the Premier League, I think. But the dedication wasn't quite there in the last couple of seasons, but I think that's back. And I think Dele Alli, if he keeps that dedication, he keeps focused, I think, again, he could have a really good season this season. And he can be a vital player for us in the season. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, well, with Dele, I'm hoping that the Euros getting through to the final, him not even anywhere near the plane, has lit some kind of fire in him, saying the World Cup's in what was that, about 16 months. I'm on that plane. I'm not sitting at home for this one. And that's why he's working a bit harder. Or do you think it's Nuno or combination of both? Or do you think it's a different system?
I don't know yet, mate. I'll be honest with you. You know, we've had England have had 2 tournaments since he decided that he'd spend more time in his car touching his hat. Miming to gangster rap. So yeah, it's a wait and see. It's 2 performances. You know, he started well under Mourinho. We remember that West Ham game away from home when he assisted while sat on his backside. So it's a wait and see for him. He needs to keep it up. It's a different role for him. Of course, he's having to adapt. There's a lot more fitness there, which you can see with every player. So it's a wait and see. Is he at this time of level ahead the likes of a Henderson, a Mount, a Foden? Probably a Foden, actually. He's not appeared much. And, Calvin Phillips. I think Declan Rice. So I don't think he's there yet. I think Lingard's probably still ahead of him, which is saying something. Lingard's not played a minutes yet. So no, it's a wait and see. It's a wait and see. I think if he carries on playing like this, of course, there's a chance for him to make the international. But for me, he has to do a lot more to make up for the last. He's been with us. He's been poor with us longer than what he was good with us. He's been poor with us longer than what he was. But the fact we've seen him at his peak, we're finding it hard to let go because we've seen what he can do. So it's a wait and see. He's got a lot more to do for me, but yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, I mean, Brad, it has to be a positive that he looks a bit more hungry and the confidence hasn't gone away. That penalty tucked away like Harry Kane would, wait for the keeper to move and then just rolled it in. And the not the confidence, but the maybe leadership. But I won the penalty. I'm taking it. Our main man's off. No one else is having it. Son's the goal scorer. I'm taking this penalty because I won it. So it looks like the hunger's back, doesn't it?
I was actually I thought, Son will take this. So I was quite surprised, but you're right. It's like, this is mine. And also, at last, someone's taken a penalty without that silly little stop and then go again. That really annoys me. I mean, I don't want to criticise the England boys, but all the penalties we missed because they did the little stop and then go again. It never seems to work. And Dele Alli went up and put it straight in. Like Bergwijn, he's one of the players I really hope does well this season because, as Bob was saying, we've seen the best of him, and he's such a player there. What I will say is I hope he's playing or trying to so hard to play well to get in the Tottenham team, and the England team doesn't even cross his mind, because if he gets into the Tottenham team and plays well for Tottenham, then the England squad will take care of itself. They'll either pick him or they won't. So I really hope he's doing, because I think Harry Winks said last season and got a lot of justifiable criticism of saying, I want to play football because I want to make the Euros. It's like, hang on a minute, you want to play football because you want to play for Tottenham Hotspur, not because you want to make the Euros. And I think with Dele Alli, I'm hoping that the reason that he looks like he's hungry. Again, it's only 2 games, but he looks like he's hungry. And I really hope it's because he wants to become a fixture in the Tottenham Hotspur football team, and not because he's playing for the World Cup in whenever it is. Is it December? Is it December this year, or is it next year?
It's next year. It's November, December, I think.
Yeah. But so he's got the whole this season to do that. So so I hope he's determined to make the Tottenham spot his own and do well for Tottenham and win things with Tottenham, rather than be thinking, I want to play well and play for Tottenham because I want to play for England.
Yeah, I mean, another player. I think we've all done really well. 45 minutes, and we haven't spoken about him. Kane returns. I didn't think that would happen this season because I thought he'd be gone now. But what did you make of that, Adam? He got a rousing reception from the Spurs fans. That one of your own was ringing out, drowning the Wolves fans out before we came on.
Yeah,
he looked like he was confident and wanting to make a difference. He should have scored, but he's making the effort to get into that and running past Bergwijn. What did you make of his little cameo and then clapping the Spurs fans at the end and hugging Nuno?
Well, there's nothing much more he can do, really, is there? I mean, Nuno's brought him on. He came on and he should have scored, but it doesn't deflect from the fact that he wants to go. He doesn't want to play for Tottenham. He wants to go, and I think we need to get we need to sell him, and we need to get the money for him. We need to buy other players. But I think Pep is saying that he's unsure about whether the Kane deal is going to go through this summer, and it's looking increasingly like it won't. I know Man City are preparing a new bid for him. Maybe this week, but yeah, I mean, it's clear that he needs to get a bit more fitness. He's a little bit rusty, but is he just waiting for that move to Man City to happen? It seems like that to me. So,
yeah. I mean, Bob, we were on Eugene's channel yesterday pre-game, and you were saying you expected people to boo him. Were you surprised that there was no booing and it was just rousing one of your own?
Yeah, absolutely. I went on Twitter as well saying, I don't get why people are surprised that Kane's going to get booed. It's granted, but Spurs fans have twice made me really proud so far this season. First of all, Saka. When he came on and everyone clapped, and there's no reason why anyone should. Even Ty from AFTV was bigging us up, and that's saying something. But yesterday, the way we sang, is one of our own. It gave me goosebumps, and I was on Twitter straight away saying I'm so pleased to be proved wrong. It made me proud to be a Spurs fan. With regards to Kane himself, I think it was professional when he came on. Did very well. He did what he normally does. I think we look better. He links up the play a bit better, and he eased a bit of pressure. With regards to him wanting to go, I hate Man City right now more than I hate Arsenal. I do. The Pep's blatant tapping of our player in the media, the self-entitlement attitude that they go around because they've got a bit of money, thinking that they'd still be a big team if they didn't have the money. With all due respect, before 2008, you guys were shit. You were shit. Pep for me is overrated. He is. He wouldn't last 5 months. He wouldn't last 5 months at Burnley. Sean Dyche for me is a better manager than what Pep is. When I say manager, the manager at Man City is the owner who buys all the expensive toys and gives it to Pep to play with. And Harry Kane's not going anywhere. He's our player. He's the best striker in the world for one of the biggest football clubs in the world. You don't go to Man City for a challenge. No. And if you think winning a trophy where you're part of a £1 billion squad, who, by the way, we beat fairly, if that's going to bring you joy, then so be it. But no, mate, you've got 3 years on your contract. You stay, we'll build a team around you. We will build a team. We'll be successful. And all this narrative, we'll keep it for another year. No, with all due respect, fuck that. You're staying for the full 3 years. You will want to stay for the full 3 years because we will be successful. We've got more chances of being successful. Harry Kane at the squad. then out the squad. And I don't believe in the narrative that all down tools. Two words. World Cup. He's not going to down tools. He's going to have to perform. So Harry Kane stays. He won't go. I don't care if they're coming with 200 million now. We're not going to be able to buy anyone. Leafy. He is leafy. I wish he was a bit leafy.
That's the nicest thing he's been called in 10 years.
Absolutely. Levy isn't stupid enough. I say that. It's going to be famous last words to sell Harry Kane now. We're not going to get. If he's going to sell him, he should have sold him a week ago so we get replacements. No. Harry Kane's staying, and we're going to win things with him. Because he is one of our own.
Yeah, I mean, do you agree? Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, first of all, the reaction when he came on was absolutely brilliant, and I was so relieved to hear that. And apparently, I didn't pick it up, but I read today the Spurs fans were singing, "Harry Kane, he's worth more than Wolves. He's worth more than Wolves."
I think Wolves were saying, "Oh, Harry Kane, he wants to leave or something. He wants to go. He wants to go," and they turned around saying, Harry Kane's worth more than Wolves. So it was great banner. And I could, when they were shouting, you could actually see the Wolves fan piss themselves. So it was great banner. And great
banner. It was good. I still have this horrible feeling that on the last day of the window.
Don't say it, Brad.
I'm sorry. I've seen Daniel Levy do it before with Dimitar Berbatov. Although to be fair, Berbatov did down tools, but that bid coming in on the last side of the window, and he's going to see dollar signs or pound signs or euro signs, whatever he says in front of his eye. That's the only thing that worries me. And then he'll come out and say, "Well, when you get offered that sort of money, what can you do?" Whether Man City will do that or not, I don't know. That could be the saving grace, is that Man City probably. I don't know. I really don't. They're backed by a billionaire oil sheik, so it's not like they haven't got any money. So that's my one worry. I think that if Kane does stay with us, and I hope he does, I think that he'll give it his all, because he's a professional footballer, and as Bob was saying, World Cups to come. Hey, look, if you got to play for your boyhood club, you're going to want to win something with them. And maybe, just maybe, if we do win something with Harry Kane, he might think at the end of the season, well, actually, I got so much more out of winning that with Tottenham than I ever would have got out of winning anything with Man City. Because you say it's not a challenge to get a Man City and win things. It's. I just never get that. It's. And I keep saying we're all Spurs supporters. If we were playing for Spurs, why would you want to guarantee winning something? And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy then, because what happens? Man City win everything, and then other players will join them because they want to win things, which will make them stronger, and they'll win everything again, and then other players will join them. It's just a never-ending circle. So I don't know how you stop it, but I hope
even their fans are a bunch of tosspots. But I need to go, guys. As Chris, I need to. I double book, mate. So I'm really sorry about that.
There's no worries. You've been on here for an hour. I appreciate you coming on. Thanks.
No, it's been absolutely great, and hopefully you invite me back.
Definitely. Come on whenever you want.
I've not, but great to meet you, Ad. Brad, always on We Are Tottenham.
Cheers, Bob. I'll probably
just before you go, if anyone didn't hear at the start, or they're living under a rock and don't know about Bob Spur TV, where can they find you?
Bob Spur TV, 2 shows a week at the moment, a day after the day before show, which is a day after the match, be it a Sunday or a Monday, and Saturday nights, if you're not going out and fancy a chill out Saturday, in the Wall show it's normally 10:30 or 11 o'clock, where we just look back at the weekend's football and previews for Spurs games, which obviously we're going to have a few games on Sunday. So, but no, first of all, if you've not subscribed to Chris's Let's Talk Tottenham, make sure you guys do, and of course, subscribe, and you know how it goes. You know the score.
Yeah, thanks so much again for coming on. Bob's Twitter handle and YouTube link will be on the description in YouTube. There's no excuses. No excuses. Cheers,
come
Bob.
On, Spurs. Come
on, Tottenham. Right, and then there were 3. So coming back to Harry Kane, Wayne has said it's not a case of Kane not wanting to play for Tottenham. It's Kane having had enough of Levy's lies and BS, which... I mean, Adam, is there going to come a point that if if Bob is wrong that we don't win stuff with Harry, it's very tricky, isn't it? Because Berbatov, Bale, Modric weren't self-confessed Spurs fans.
No.
Kane is. None of them were ever in the chance of beating Jimmy Greaves' record. They're becoming legends, fine, but legends along with other people. If Kane beats Jimmy Greaves' record, he's ahead of the pack, isn't he? And then when you consider if he stays in the Premier League, and injury-free, he will beat Shearer's record. So, I mean, we've said it time and time again. He made a real mistake there, him and his agent, not getting a get-out clause or a release clause in that contract and signing a 6-year deal and trusting Daniel Levy. Do you think it will ever come to the case of this is going to be a proper standoff if we don't win stuff and then he gets to 30? I mean, really, this is his last chance of a big move. Haaland's probably going to be around transfer next season, possibly even Mbappe. No. How do you read that situation? I mean, that could turn really sour, but I don't think it will because of the Spurs connection. I think that's what will. It's
a very tough situation for Harry Kane, and he's obviously given it a lot of thought. I mean, he has a connection with Spurs, and it's obvious that he loves Spurs and loves Tottenham, and obviously grown his career with Tottenham, and we brought him through, and he made him the player he is really at the club. But it's obvious that he would like to finish his career winning a major trophy, and that's what it boils down to. He wants to finish his career, and he wants to have a major trophy. To see for it. I don't know if he's bothered about the goal scoring record and everything like that. I think he's more bothered about winning a major trophy, the Premier League, Champions League, something like that. And it's obvious that he can't see himself doing that at Tottenham. So that's the dilemma he's in. He loves Tottenham, and it's obvious that he's a Tottenham boy. He's from Chingford.
I think Walthamstow, isn't he? Something like that. Or something like that, yeah.
So he's come from the area. He's come up through the Tottenham ranks, but he wants to win a major trophy, and he can't see himself doing that at Spurs, and that's why he's pushing this move. And you can see the dilemma that he has, and he's obviously made his decision that he wants to move and win a major trophy. So it's a difficult situation, very difficult situation, and the Harry is as a player, he's one of the best players in world football, really. It's a very difficult transfer to get done anyway, given his status. So it's a very, very difficult situation, and I hope it resolves itself in the best way for Spurs, really.
I mean, we managed 45 minutes without talking about him. We're on about 15 now, but Brad, barring a few days, is a week until the transfer window ends. I mean, this is Daniel Levy, who sold Berbatov with 2 seconds left for a big fee. So there's always the case that Man City come in with what Levy wants, and then he'll sell him, and we'll get someone like a Fraser Campbell or a real panic buy. But he can't make that mistake again if Man City come in. I read today that City's £100 million bid was made up of 75 in cash and 25 in bonuses. I mean, no wonder if that's true. No wonder Levy's blocking their calls, because that's just a disgrace. Like Bob was saying, just the arrogance. But I mean, can you see the transfer happening now, even if City put the bid in that Levy wants, or do you think it's too late now? And if one does come in and because it's too late, Levy declines it, what does that do to Kane? Because if everything that we've been led to believe, he was annoyed with the fact that he hasn't been allowed to go for 125. If he's not allowed to go now, he's going to be even more furious, isn't he? I mean, it's a real dangerous situation.
I think if Man City come in with a 150 million straight off bid, even if it is 1 minute, well, it won't be 1 minute because you wouldn't be able to do it, but if it is on transfer deadline day, I think that Levy might accept it. That's what worries me. Yeah, and we don't know what the conversations they've had, do we? I mean, they might have said hey, Harry, you're worth 150. Sorry, mate, you ain't going anywhere, unless I get 150. And he might have had that conversation with him. I do worry about what would worry me at the moment. Well, it wouldn't worry me because we get the top player. But if we suddenly spent a lot of money in the next sort of 3 or 4 days on a forward, say Martinez, for instance, 80, 90 million, then I'd be tempted to think, hang on a minute, that's the Kane money being spent there. And it'd be more likely that he would go. But we haven't done that. We're still trying to get loan deals through. It's interesting with Kane, actually, with his people, because one, he had that statement that came out, didn't he, a few weeks ago, which was so late in the day about what had been going on. And then we had the situation where last week everyone's going, hey, where's Harry? He hasn't tweeted about a great win by Tottenham, And then suddenly you have in the next few days, you have him getting there, training hard, getting there sort of thing. And then you had the tweet yesterday saying, oh, yeah, great win, guys. You sort of wonder, was that him or was that his team saying, we better get something out, Harry?
Yeah.
Or it might just be, it could be the other way around. Maybe Kane wanted to put a tweet out against Man City and his team said no. Yeah, and this week, maybe said, no, sorry, I'm putting a tweet out. So it could be the other way around. Let's not all, get on Kane's back. It could be the fact that he's actually gone against his team. But yeah, it's hard to. I still think he'll give his all. I mean, Modric wasn't a Spurs fan, but his last season at Tottenham, we didn't get the transfer. I think he missed the first game because of, his head wasn't there. But from memory, he had an absolutely brilliant season that season. Was wonderful. And then same with Bale, his last season at Spurs. So I still think Kane will give it. And as Bob was saying, it's up to us to make him to want to stay. As to winning trophies, I don't know. Maybe I'm not thinking as a professional footballer. I mean, I never was anywhere near becoming, a professional footballer. But it's like, well, okay, I've been a Spurs fan all my life. If Man City said to me, okay, Brad, we're going to pay you £100 a week. Let's not talk silly money, but we're going to pay you £100 a week if you become a City fan. And I'd think, because we're paying you £100 a week and you're guaranteed to probably win something. No, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same. Yeah. Even £100 a week, even if I accepted the money and Man City did win, it wouldn't be the same. It just wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm exactly the same. I've always said that if I was a professional footballer player for Tottenham, I'd never ever leave. But then it's easy for me because I'm nowhere near that good, so I'm never ever going to have that conundrum to make. But I mean, I worry about the same thing you do, Levy, just getting the money he wants, and then But in terms of transfers, Adam, I mean, Wayne, he said this a while ago. I haven't forgotten about you, Wayne. He's very optimistic here. We need another centre-back, right-back, central midfielder, playmaker and striker, although he has said, I can't see all of those being filled. I'd say all of them. The transfer window stinks big time of Levy. I'll keep that on there. In terms of those, I mean, A, Adam, do you think we'll get any of those? Obviously, if we sell Kane, we have to get that striker. And B, what ones do you think we need, or do you think we need all? And C, I did have a C and I forgot. C, do you think we will get any of those to try and convince Kane we are serious?
I don't. It's obviously not going to get them all. If I was to go for one, I'd want a playmaker now. I think. I think we could do with a playmaker. In terms of getting one to try and keep Kane, I mean, I don't know what our money situation is here. I mean, there's been talk about selling in Dele. If we could sell him and maybe use that money to bring in a playmaker, then maybe. But without selling someone, I can't see Levy paying 60, 70 million on a playmaker without selling a player first. He's just not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. I think it's one or the other. It's a new playmaker, a new striker, or Harry Kane. He's not going to do it. He's not going to spend that much money without offloading some players first. That's just not the way he works.
Yeah, I guess if this Tomiyasu deal, which seems to have gone very quiet, I guess if that deal went through, then we'd have the centre back and the right back. So that would kill two birds with one stone. The playmaker, I think yesterday, we conceded a lot of possession to balls, and we needed someone to put their foot on the ball and just sort of dictate the play a bit. We sort of missed that. Don't get me wrong, the other guys put a real big effort in, but I think we still need that. And also, when we're going to come out against the teams that are going to defend against us, we need that person to unlock.
Like on Sunday against Watford, I imagine they'll sit back.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you do need those sort of players that can do that. Again, who's out there? I don't really know who's out there. What players are available at the right price? I mean,
well, Alya, I can't remember if I have no idea if I butchered that name or not. At Leon, he's got a bit of a temper apparently, but 20 million, he's very early 20s, playmaker, he'd fit the bill. And it's not a huge risk, is it? 20 million, it's not a huge risk because, but in terms of Ndombele, I don't think he'll go because he's been pretty poor. His value's gone down. Levy will want £60 million back, and no one's going to be paying that.
Exactly.
But I mean, someone might take a chance. I think as well, if we get rid of Ndombele and he goes to a team that suits him, we'll regret that, and he'll become one of the best in the world if he gets his head right. But for us, he's not. His heart's not in it, I don't think, for Tottenham, so he has to go. But there's no way he's going for the 60 million that we paid for him. No way. You'd be lucky to get 30, I think, or 40. But Levy won't accept that, and he's probably got a few years like Kane left on his contract, so there's no issue to sell him, really. The World Cup's coming up, so it's either knuckle down or just stay at home in the winter or whenever the World Cup is. But, yeah, I mean, do you see anyone coming in, Adam, before the transfer window closes in 8 days or whatever it is now?
I mean, we have been linked with a few players, but quite a few players. Maybe Ronaldo, Messi, he's gone. Well, I mean, the last good playmaker we bought in was Eriksen, wasn't it? And we bought in with Bale money. So we need someone to go before they're going to bring a big playmaker like an Eriksen-esque player in. I can't see us really bringing anyone in. No. Who else have we been linked with?
Everyone.
Just name a European footballer. Chances are you'll be right.
I think the most likely player is Traore, isn't it? He's the most likely player that we're going to bring in, I think.
All these wingers are fine. You've got to give them the ball. Yesterday, we struggled getting the ball. And I do worry against... I don't think you can keep that pressure up that's on you and that work rate on you constantly all season, because you will burn out towards the end of the season. Certainly if the top team, the first 11 start playing in the Europa Conference, if we get through that against Pacos and then get through to the latter stages and then have a good cup run, FA Cup or Carabao Cup. So we are short in the squad, certainly in a backup. But yeah, I mean, Brad, do you see anyone coming in, or do you think it all depends on the Bale money, Kane money, or do you think that's the squad that Nuno's got, and then it's up to him to sort it out, and we'll evaluate in January?
Unless this story about Paratici getting all the deals ready and then you can do them in the day, I don't know. We've been here before, haven't we? On the various directors of football and whatever, and we've been interested in in so many players and that sort of thing. So I have my doubts, but again, as I've always said, I don't mind if we get the players in, even if it's 1 minute before deadline day. I've accepted that this season's going to be transitional, and we're going to take a time to get the players bedded in. And to be fair, 2 wins out of 2 is beyond my wildest dreams at the moment. So it's gone better than what I thought it would go. It's the only one thing I will say is that when it goes quiet, that's when we suddenly sign players. And it's like recently, okay, the Traore stuff's been going on all day, but apart from that, there's nothing else that's sort of really come up.
I don't want to get your hopes up too much, but the Ronaldo rumours have gone quiet. It's just we're linked with every footballer under the sun, aren't we? And then the news dies down. That's when we do business. But yeah, I get your point with that. Yeah.
I was amazed when we got Bale again. To be honest, I mean, he's coot.
Yeah, that was
too hard.
that was, I mean, I'm one of the first. I will always criticise Daniel Levy for the reasons that we all know and love. But yeah, he did well with the Bell one. He did really well with that because I think didn't he get him to pay his wages whilst he was out injured as well. So so fair play on that. Fair play on that one, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, Adam, last week or the week before, you said you think top 6. I think you said possibility, but no more than that. 2 wins out of 2. Your mind changed? Too early to say, or you still steadfast in top 6?
No, top 6. We're not going to. I don't think we'll break into that top 4. I mean, I think Chelsea are my new favourites for the Premier League. I mean, yesterday with Lukaku, oh my God.
They were playing Arsenal, though. I reckon my 5-a-side team would give them a game the way they defended against Lukaku. That was awful.
Oh, they could have beaten Arsenal 5-6-0. I mean, they were dominant. I mean, he was right. It's just a pure dominance. And I'm not looking forward to Chelsea coming to Spurs.
I'm the opposite way with that. The way that Man City was, I don't know if you saw Micah Richards' comments. Best atmosphere. He's one of the best atmospheres, bar none, that he's ever heard. He didn't expect it to be so tribal and loud and all that. And that's Man City, who aren't really high on our hated list. It's only because of the Harry Kane situation that they are, whereas Chelsea are hated.
Oh yeah, and probably more so.
So that'll be loud, I think. And my pick for the league is Liverpool. I think Anfield is an awful place to go to when you're an away team, and I'm adamant. I'm so confident that away at home fans will make a huge difference this season.
So given that, from what you guys have said, so we're probably assuming that Man City and Chelsea are going to be top 2, and you've mentioned Liverpool. So if we said Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool is the top 3, at least 4th spot. Yeah. On our day, we can beat any team in that league. So it only needs a good run now and a good run at the end of the season. And it's possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but it is possible. And I think that Man United, everyone was tipping them last week, and they go and draw at Southampton. So and I think that we're capable of winning. And I think there's some teams that we haven't beaten for a while that we're due to beat. Liverpool being one of them. So I think that there's no real team there. Yeah, we should be there, or there's no reason why we should be there or thereabouts for 4th spot. I'm not saying it's going to happen because it's still a new team, or hopefully a new team and a new coach. But it's not beyond the realms of possibilities.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. And with Man United and with 4th, the last 2 months of the season, no one wants 4th. They keep losing silly games, so it's all to play for. But with Man United, Gary Neville made a good point today. I mean, let that sink in. To be fair to him, he is actually quite. I don't mind Gary Neville, but he was saying last year without the fans away from home, they went 1-0 down a lot away from home, but there were no home fans to spur the home team on. Whereas this week at Southampton, they went 1-0 down, got the equaliser, and then you'd expect them, like last year, last 20 minutes, to be bombarding Southampton's goal. But Southampton spent 30% in United's half, had more shots. United were kind of flat. So I think the home fans will make an absolute huge difference this season. Whether after Christmas that will kind of die down because the novelty's gone, as long as this COVID thing doesn't come back. But I think that Chelsea game, I mean, that's the loudest I've heard at that stadium. We were all there. I mean, I know, Adam, you don't go that often because you haven't got a season ticket. But Brad, you're a season ticket holder, right? I mean, that's the loudest I've heard that stadium.
Brilliant.
By quite a long way. And
the last one I think it was that loud was probably the Champions League game against Man City.
Yeah, I didn't go to that, but I mean, Adam, you went to White Hart Lane quite a lot, and that was generally quite loud. But I think that City game surpassed that.
It was a great atmosphere, no doubt. It was a great atmosphere, and we played well. But I mean, I just think Chelsea have got so much strength in depth, whereas Man United, I think they're going to struggle with consistent. They're not going to be consistent enough to win the Premier League this season. I think Liverpool a little bit thin on the ground. If they get a couple of injuries, I think they might struggle to keep up with the likes of Chelsea and Man City, like they did last season, really. But Chelsea this season, I mean, I think they're going to win the league by a mile, to be honest.
A mile? Oh dear,
yeah.
That's a prediction.
Yeah, I think they are. I think Man City might struggle this season with consistency, from the sheer fact they haven't, or hopefully,
they haven't got a
striker. They haven't got someone to put the ball away.
Yeah,
I mean, touch wood, they won't get Kane, but yeah, I mean, I can only see Chelsea win the league at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, who's your pick, Brad?
For the title? Well, I would have said Man City, but the way Chelsea have played, and now Lukaku's come back, which is probably their one missing piece, because that other forward they had, is it Werner or not?
Yeah, Werner,
yeah. Who probably is probably worse than Traore at putting chances away. But yeah, now they've got Lukaku there. They're going to be pretty tough to beat, and we'll find out when we play them. We've beaten Man City, so why not beat Chelsea?
Exactly, yeah.
We will be favourites to the title.
Yeah, I just think that Tottenham Stadium could make a massive difference. And I mean, that City game was amazing. You've got to give that treatment to every team that come there, starting with Watford. Make it a fortress again, because that's going to be key for us. Pick up away wins here and there and stuff, and against the teams in the top four that you're competing against, just don't lose at home. Like
the team, the fans, the supporters, myself included, have got to be up for the Watford games as much as up for the Man City games. And we still don't know. We played well against Man City pretty much the whole game. When things start going bad, like not only just Tottenham, like any home crowd, when the fans start getting on their back a bit. So that's why we've got to be brilliant ourselves. The fans have got to be consistent this season as well, and just get behind, because when we get behind them in that stadium, which, as we all know, was designed by the guy who does the sound for the U2 tour, to keep the sound in. I mean, you can tell that it's loud when that crowd sings. It is loud. And I went pitch side at White Hart Lane once years and years ago. I think I was presenting Huddleston with the Support Club Young Player of the Year, so I had to go down pitch side to give it to him. Before we did this, they showed the highlights of the season, and the whole crowd, only 30,000, were all singing and shouting that. I'll tell you what, on the pitch, it is so much louder than when you're up in the stands. So I can imagine what it must be with that 60,000 crowd shouting and singing. If you're on the pitch, that must be amazing. I don't know how I'm ever going to experience that, but I'd love to. So.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the Watford game. I think Wolves was always going to be a tough match. And there were so many factors there. The Harry Kane situation, the Traore situation, regardless of what he does when he gets into the final third, he's always a threat. Jimenez there, Nuno go back to his old team early in the season. It was always going to be a first home game for Wolves with fans. It was always going to be tough. Whereas if we play like that against Watford, I would be disappointed, I think, if we sit back against them and allow them on. So I think while there are a lot of Spurs fans upset with the performance yesterday, I do get that because it wasn't very good. I can accept it as long as it's not every week like it was under Mourinho.
But as I said yesterday on Eugene's show, like I'm sure I'm going to get annoyed at Tottenham through bad performances and losses. So why should I get annoyed at Tottenham when we've won? So so you enjoy the moment, enjoy that when you got the chance. I remember when we beat Sweden in the World Cup semi-final, and a mate of mine was going quarter-final. A mate of mine was going, "Why are we all celebrating? So we did a quarter-final." I said, "Well, this might be the last one we win. If you get the semi-final, then you're going to be regretting not celebrating this one." And that's exactly what happened. But, so you celebrate your wins, and go on to the next one. So
I mean, there's always a positive, isn't there? Yesterday it was the fact that we didn't concede again after. There was an immense pressure, but like Bob said earlier, it wasn't clear-cut chance after clear-cut. There was only really one, wasn't there, which you can argue is Wolves not playing to their best ability, or you can argue that it's our structure and team shape that cut all of those situations out.
Yeah, I think we defended a lot better yesterday and threw ourselves in front of the ball, that sort of thing.
I haven't really got anything else to say there. I think we've run out of time, really, and run out of stuff to talk about. We can start talking about the Watford. We can start talking about the Watford game, and then that completely makes my stream on Friday lunchtime pointless. So we'll end it there. Thanks everyone for put comments in. Adam, thanks so much for coming on. As always, becoming a regular now.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be back next Monday. Brad, thanks so much for coming on.
No problems, anytime.
Pleasure to have you on. I'm sure you'll be on again unless you decide to ignore me, which is beyond the realms of possibility. But you got Brad's Twitter handle there. For anyone who didn't hear the start, your music channel that you're hoping to launch, YouTube. Yeah. Just tell us a bit about that, which will obviously be advertised on the Twitter handle.
All these streams, I'll advertise it when it's out. I haven't thought of a name for it yet, so that will probably, hopefully, in September. Well, actually, September's next week, isn't it? So hopefully, sometime in September, once I get stuff recorded and that. I mean, that's the problem, is just getting stuff that's acceptable so I can put on YouTube, and then finding out how you upload stuff to YouTube. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm sure it's easy.
If I can do it, Brad, anyone can do it. I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, guys, so much for coming on. Speak to you next week. Another good win. Not a good win, a win. Hopefully we get a good win. Next game, 3 out of 3. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. See you, Chris. See you, Adam.
Thank you so much for watching. For everybody who participated in the live chat and added comments, before you go, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Anybody who couldn't watch the live video, you can still catch us on YouTube. Add any comments, suggestions or questions to the comments section on the video. Anybody who's listened to the audio-only podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anybody who wants the audio-only podcast, you get this wherever you get your podcast from. Alternatively, if you go to Twitter, @Talk Tottenham, you'll find all the information there. We'll be back soon. We're live Mondays, 8 p.m, Fridays, 12:30 UK time. Until then, come on, you Spurs!